It is still February 12th, 2025. Well, I got rid of a lot of them. I gave a statement to my boyfriend. I know my apartment's bugged. And apparently, well, people have been saying for a while they had seen me in the bathroom, just like up in Ravenna, just like in my apartment, my bedroom, downstairs. My boyfriend don't know, and thank God he's had wax build up in his ear and air compaction, so he only hears a small amount. And thank God, he'd be horrified for what he hears, what's said around us. I went through the statement of I got a little bit of time. See if I can do it real quick. Of now, if I go through where I called the FBI hotline. The next morning the phone's ringing. I'm so drugged up I can't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears running down my face. I kept saying I can't. And I'm not for sure why. Wiping rivers of tears. Fell back to sleep, woke up later. I'm so drugged up I can't even stand up straight. Holding onto the wall to get to the bathroom, get to the refrigerator, got back to bed, listened to the voicemail. This is Agent da-da-da, call me back. Fell back to sleep, I can't. Next day, I'm not much better. Third day, I made myself get up. I am sitting on the front porch holding my head. I feel drunk, and I don't drink. What's wrong with me again? They were drugging the hell out of me up there. Okay. I sat on the front porch and I thought, I'm too afraid to leave the property. Okay. And I thought if I pays, they'll think I'm crazy. So I put the lawnmower in my hand, act like I was mowing the lawn and just trying to pace what to do. I gotta call that agent back. And I thought of one of my witnesses that I gave the hotline where they were breaking in the mall. It was that church trying to kill me. I had called her and she said she would witness for me. I went out and bought a card, put that agent's number in it from the voicemail, made an excuse to go to the mall, gave that card to her manager. She put it in her locker, and I went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer screamed in Dave's face, my God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off, and women walk up to me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises, severely infected. I can't even hardly go to the bathroom. Lost 18 pounds, migraine headache, almost passing out in front of people, thinking the dirty wall of water is probably giving me cancer just showering in it. Never seen her talk to anybody. Okay. I go in and I sat down, and the women follow me. They sit behind me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. And he said they say strangers lie. The faking you were sick when it was medication or medical malpractice. And if she was going to be mean to women, he didn't care what they did to her. And he was going to turn her back over to him. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go. Get out in the car. He starts screaming at me. You called the FBI on me. I'd have killed you myself. Okay? I said, what did you expect with all these people threatening my life and people showing up and I'm getting almost harmed? I said, what do you expect? And he goes for a loaded gun. I put my hand on the console and he punches me all the way home. He's swerving all over the highway. I almost jumped out at one point. And when we got home, I ran from it. Next day, rivers of tears. I call that agent. Everybody knows. I tell him someone told on me. He calls me a liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He calls me a liar. Okay? There's badgering laws. I went out to eat with an officer. He said you always have to take a victim or a witness or an informant statement, if you believe them or not, and follow through, or it's obstruction to justice and tampering with witnesses and evidence. It's badgering. I said, that's the word I've been looking for. I said, boy, is that a hot subject. Okay? He said, you're not allowed to have opinion. You go out and find the facts. Okay? He said, and if you get proven that you called someone a liar, you go to jail. Okay? I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He calls me a liar. There's a warrant out for this guy. He had already killed my other coworker, Lori's family member, and his description was out there. There was an arrest warrant for that man, and he's calling me a liar. Okay? And I didn't know about that till later, when I met Lori. Okay? Because I found other victims' families. I tell him about that he tried to kidnap me before. He's like, oh, come on. He said even if a church person seen him, they would never verify it. That's why I didn't tell him about Terry Coberly. She did verify it. He said, I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you. And he said, strangest lie. He just confessed he told on me. I said, look, I really was sick before. He's like, you liar. Was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. You say you're lying or I'll arrest you. And he starts screaming how he's going to put me in jail. It's like, fine, whatever. And then he laughs at me. Because of him, Marlisa's niece was taken Christmas Day of 2018. That's why there's badgering laws. Okay? All right. He said, now I want you to say you're faking you were sick. I really was sick before. You liar. I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. I know they're trying to kill you. And he says, strangers lie. Conspiracy to commit murder is a federal crime. It's a 20-year sentence. Okay? It was to arrest them, not make fun of a rape victim that had almost been murdered. He was committing a federal crime. He said, I know they're trying to kill you. He said, because of, he said, I've met with that family in my office, all those church people, and I know they're trying to kill you. And he says, strangest lie. Okay? And he said, you need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. That he was aiding and abetting conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder on a recorded line. Okay? He said, I said, look, I really was sick before. You need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. I said, look, I really was sick before. You liar. You say it or I'll leave there, but they'll kill me, so. They have tried to kill me, so. You say it or I'll leave there. Please don't let him kill me. I start begging him for my life. He's like, you say it or I'll leave there. It's like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. He said, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're trying to kill me. So, they've tried to kill me. So, the other agent yells out the drug dealer's name that Dave hired on his own, the rapist, the one that I never met. He yells out, we could always use Pete's tape of Weird with Yourself. The shower scene of washing yourself in another shower. They already, in a shower, and they photoshopped that in another room. I found out a drug dealer's stunt. And they laughed at the FBI June 7th, 23, that Agent John would actually fall for that. Ha, 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 ha. It was only a stunt. Ha, 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 ha. They already confessed over years that they photoshopped all the lies, photoshopped feminine wipes above the toilet to make me look weird. They raced people out of the room. They drugged me and told me to say it before we had all the bruises. You were throwing up and almost passing out. They had drugged you up and told you to say this, that, da 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 da. And laughing in my face, the drug cartel, how they framed me, even admitting to framing. Okay. And I've never met this Pete. And I honestly thought, why are you lying on my brother? Because the only Pete I know is my brother, Medina. I haven't seen him in years, but I talked to him on the phone. And I thought, why is he lying on him? And he said, well, we could use Pete's tape, but blah, blah. Now, I've never met the man. They're talking about my rapist. They're making fun of me for my rapist. I said, what are you talking about? Because I've never met him. And he said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor selling your information. Okay? Well, it's illegal for a doctor to talk about you without your consent. It's illegal. It's HIPAA violations. It's a right to privacy. They can never testify in court against you. They sure as hell couldn't help your husband that's trying to kill you and in a cult. They go to jail for that. They can't testify against you in court. It's privacy. Okay? It's HIPAA. It's 1 to 5 years, $250,000 fine. You can sue them for $1.5 million. Your medical records are privileged and private. Well, I had some lady use my insurance for 15 years. Found out through a hospital arguing over a bill that she had 2 little girls. And I thought, well, maybe it was one of hers. No, it's just a big scam. I said, what are you talking about? Stop, she don't know. Okay. Then he's like, give me a real reason. Well, my brother-in-law, Craig, he died working under Dick Cheney at the Pentagon. I tell him about him. He's like, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement in this area on the rest of your life? I said, the only ones I've talked to is August 8th of 18 out of line, the security system that came out at midnight. They told me it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit. And then they told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want to bother. You're kidding, right? I said, no. I said, matter of fact, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've only had family repair guys. He said, is that what's going on? Okay. He said, do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, well, I think he's cheating. You only think he's cheating? I said, well, I've never caught him. He tells the other guy that's mocking me for my rapist. She said she never caught him. Well, Dave confirmed that December 9th, 18, I never caught him with anyone. So why is that funny? It isn't. Okay. So he said, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you, but it comes with no money. Well, I have no money to start. He said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, I can open an informant program. Comes with $5,000 a month. I said, well, I can do that. He said, I'm loading the money on a card. Do you know when you can pick it up? I don't know when I'll get down there. Well, how broke loose? Okay. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you. And only for you would we ever do this for. We'll always put it back as if it never happened. And you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Admit to no wrongdoing and I'll take care of everything in the end. Okay? And, but if you try to tell someone, I'll list you crazy and no one will help you. Now, I told my friend from the prosecutor's office what he said. Oh, and he also said, if you can't get a hold of me, my best friend is the chief of police at Canton. It's 2018, okay? He is a really good man. He's a very good man. You can always trust him. He'll make sure the Canton police always protect you if you can't get a hold of me. Okay? I told my friend from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, Walter, worked there for a while. We met at a McDonald's on Harmont. He said, you told me that agent, one of his best friends, was the chief of police at Canton in 2018. He was a good man. He said, I'll let you know. He was a really good man. I know him. He said in another thing, the police know they can't go along with anything that agent said except for listing your informant with money and immunity. You get the money for risking your life to get the government information, and they owe you for the rest of your life. Karen, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs, and until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program, you'll stay informant for life. He opened a threat and attempted life case too. He said you can never get out of protected custody, and you get the money for the rest of your life, for risking your life. And that agent can't make up his own rules. He can't list you crazy, and he can't tell people no one can help you. 14th Amendment, you cannot withhold any protection from any U.S. citizen. It's a constitutional right. You cannot seize somebody's money, but due process of the law, you have to be found guilty and sued for it. Okay? You can't just steal. First Amendment, okay? He said, due to the freedom of speech, it takes a judge to put a gag order on you. He said, and police and agents are only hired police officers. They don't have the right or the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It takes a judge. It's illegal for him to even say that, and the police know that. And he don't have the authority, and he can't make up his own rules. Okay? And no judge could sign it because it'd be illegal, and they'd get arrested. And there's guidelines, and it's for only getting them information. And he can't make up his own rules. Okay? It also takes a judge to find you insane. Competency hearing. Agents and police can't do that. See what I mean? He was only bullying you so they get away with this. Okay? He said, and what these people did is a fraud scheme, where they laugh in your face in front of people in stores that they photoshopped a shower scene and washing yourself in the shower. They probably did. It's clicking and pasting. And where you had bruises you couldn't explain and all the signs of being drugged, being raped, they probably were drugging you up and telling you to say stuff. You had all the signs and treated by a doctor. It's a fraud scheme. They did the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. Police and agencies can only be in a home under threat of life with statements in a court order. Nobody can be in your home. They made the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. Okay? All right. And I said, well, he already confessed. He told him he can't tell on you because of the due to the freedom of speech. You can tell whoever you want. He can't say a word. And the police know that. And he can't just make up his own rules. And they can't go along with his made-up rules. He was just bullying you so they get away with it. Okay? All right. The next day, after I talked to the FBI, I used to be really close to my daughter-in-law, Dixie. I talked to her a lot. Now, my whole family had known about the attempted kidnapping, the phone-rounding, the attempted carjacking. All right? They knew about the attempted break-in. Okay? All right. Because you got the attempted break-in, the attempted kidnapping, the following, and then the attempted carjacking. They knew about these people leaving threats in the mall on my life. Okay. They knew about the people showing up and threatening to knife me. They knew everything. My sister Pam had encouraged me to call the FBI. You call the FBI. On Dave and the churches. They cannot threaten your life. They can't have people try to harm you. They'll take care of them. Dear God, they put Amish men in jail for just cutting off beards for a hate crime. This is an ungodly hate crime. Okay? She's the whole reason I called the FBI. She encouraged me for days. And I had to take time and pray. I honestly loved my ex-husband with all my heart. And it was ripping my heart out to realize it was him and his church trying to kill me. And how stupid I was. not to figure it out. Now I live in the middle of nowhere, and they're showing back up. And I prayed and I prayed, and I poured my heart out to God what to do. Because the day I reported him, I could never forgive him. And I had forgave him of so much over the years. And I shouldn't have had to do that. Okay? And I could never go back when I picked up that phone. And I realized as I was praying, if I didn't pick up that phone, I'll die. It was the hardest emotional decision to pick up that phone and call the FBI hotline. Okay. And the next morning, I got up early and I called Dixie, my daughter-in-law. She knows everything. I'm like, I need you to stay out of everything. She's like, Karen, they'll threaten your life. And I hear the word, kill it, from outside roll out. And you know when you turn the security systems off, it goes beep, beep. That way you know it's off. I hear beep, beep. I'm in the middle of a giant one. It's not even street lights. It's so dark you can't see anything. I'm in the back room. And I'm talking to Dixie. I'm like, oh my God. Then I hear footsteps outside my door. I'm like, Dixie, no matter what, stay out of this. I figure I'm dead within a minute. 30 seconds, something. They're going to bust through that door and I'm dead. And I don't even have a place to run. I'm like, Dixie, stay out of this. She's like, but Karen, they're threatening your life. I'm scared. I said, I'm scared too, but you promised me no matter what, you stay out of this. And I hear men. That's not what's going on in here. Everybody out in here is scuffling. I'm like, Dixie, stay out of this. And I got up and somebody had broken my house. Now, I went to call my sister, Pam. Now, she's the one that talked me into calling the FBI. She's like, Karen, did you call the FBI on Dave and the churches? And I said, Pam, this is crazy. Now, on the other side of the duplex, there was a group of men that lived there. Okay? We first moved in. I'm cleaning out the backwoods because there's bottles and cans and stuff, and I don't want my grandchildren to get hurt, running around them, get cut or even messing with them. Took me weeks to clean it out. They were outside. We're going to have trouble with them living here. I thought, why would you have trouble? We keep to ourselves. I'm just cleaning out the backwoods. You would walk into the backwoods. One time I called John around Christmas. The police taped him. My phone number did not come up as mine, and it sounded like I was echoing in an airplane. They were scrambling numbers once you got so far from the house. There was lights flashing above the house, and they were outside mocking me. They had a copy of my phone. I had kept notes under me, and they were outside mocking me where I did it as a simple crossword puzzle. An 8-year-old could do it. A, B, C, D, bank, date. When I was 10 years old, I moved from New York to Ohio. And we were learning about authors, and one of them was the one for Aesop's Fables. I was telling everybody about New York and Canada, and this one kid said, well, you're like Aesop. You got so many tales of, and stories. So he called me Aesop. So I threw the word Aesop, and they were outside. What's Aesop? I thought it's a child's book, dumbass. Like the tortoise and hare. Okay? Alright. So, I told my sister Pam, I said, this is crazy. There's people outside with a copy of my phone making fun of me, and one's already told on me. I'd have to get a prepaid phone and call you at work. It's that crazy. She's like, what? I said, never mind, stay out of this. I'm a big girl, I can handle it. She didn't understand what I said. In June or July of 21, I went down to see my sister sitting on her front porch. I said, well, you know, I called the FBI on Dave in the churches. When did you do that? I said 18. Do you know that agent tried to use the excuse he didn't help me because I dared tell on him? And he thought I told on him, and she didn't understand what I said for telling on me. And she didn't even understand. He tried to use that as an excuse. He already told the Apostolic Church of Barberton that he was going to just turn me back over to him. He stole in front of the police. Investigators a couple years ago said we went over that church. He did tell all those people she was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care. And he was going to turn her back over to him. None of this is funny for you. Even talk to her. It isn't.